and irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity, so who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are them go so confused the call. Now by area why no better. We are them go so confused the call. One guy's out here why no better. Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend and I ain't come at them. Only papi obeka na sembia. So I want one obechu etu. Everybody was afraid. And when Tina Nantuma caught it here nine, once my boy dumping one and I see. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akukudro fonyina dalima. Enti who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to kroche mansa to me biaka kobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Hanya safwe mo ayini. Akuku trofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachisa would your mouth pipinuma. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? DUC silence, even journalists silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right, wrong is wrong. No matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you. Now the person become your target. Jobless know they mean senseless. Poverty know they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello and a very good evening to you wherever you are. Welcome to Ghana Decides. That is a special program on today's Ghana News TV where we want to look at election 2024. And happily we are coming to you live on satellite on Switch by satellite and on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all on the name Today's Ghana News TV. We are equally live on Hine FM 98.7, the bright light of Easton, and equally on King's Radio in Accra. King's Radio, you can tune in by TuneIn or myradio.com. You can equally follow us on Twitter and TikTok, as well as podcast on Anchor FM. Our feed is carried by Sankina Information Center in Tatal in the Northern region, as well as Jaframa TV and Rara in the Oti region. So wherever you are, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to this edition of Ghana Decides, where we want to look at election 2024. Ghana Decides, 32 years of democracy, 9 elections. What is at stake? That is why we have impaneled a great personalities that we will look at the election 2024 and the way forward. If you have just joined in, do the needful, help us, share the link that many more people would join us, and together we will share our views on Ghana Decides. Once again, you are welcome. When I return, I would introduce the panel for this evening's discussion.
Yamamu Ajo Esan Emamu Akaba Eduba Nukreme Din Ede Antonia Kipa Ifa Ania de Nukreno Atu Bibia Ewose Edda.
Tune in on today's Ghana News TV on our usual socio-political show, Mind View.
Jumedi and today Ghana News TV so na today Ghana News TV we benya live on YouTube.
Nyame ase and then so aye rade person me no share today Ghana News TV kasafidie iso.
Today Ghana News TV, we are the masters of the game.
So, if you have joined us for the first time, we will encourage you to subscribe to our link so that anytime we are on air, you will definitely get notifications. Ghana Decides, in looking at election 2024. 32 years of democracy, 9 elections, what is at stake? And I'm very privileged to have a panel made up of distinguished personalities, starting with Reverend Theophilus Lighty of Israel, and Dr. Lawrence Osei Appiah. He is the founder of the Diaspora Progressive Movement in the United States of America. I have Mr. Kweku Mahingo of the African Continental Unity Party. And then I have Mr. Francis Kwesi Akwa of the UK and Ireland chapter of the NDC. Gentlemen, you are most welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me start with Reverend. Usually, Jehovah takes the lead in everything that we do from the religious point of view, and then driving into democracy and politics. That is interesting. But, Reverend, what do you see about our election 2024?
I can say this very election is going to be something like it's like more or less this in the second independence, as people are commonly saying, because if we look at how the damage this government have caused, have made people become angry, and everybody is, cannot wait to vote them out. I think that's the basic thing I can say for now. And then if you look at the economy and the education and other things that this government, have done to Ghana, has been the reason why people want to come out to vote against them. And let me say this, that shouldn't be something the NDC will think, or other parties will think it will be easier for them. Everybody have to be very, very vigilant.
But before I let you go, you know what happened in America? There were a lot of prophecies that God had chosen Trump, and Trump was coming back to stop certain things happening there. I don't know, but since you are a reverend, maybe is there any biblical link to what is going to happen in Ghana?
We can say depending on the number 8, and that was picked up for JM. I can say if we go further or deeper, it means God has chosen the JM to ordain JM to lead Ghana once again, with the same as Trump. And if you look at if you listen to his message actually, or his political agenda, you see that it is God given. And I will let's look backwards. You could see that John Dramani was doing a very great job, but these people came with lies and they thought it's not that. I mean, he was not doing enough, so they kick him out. And right now, I think God, in His own wisdom, that's my own opinion, and that God is in all wisdom. I want to set him aside. Let's see what these people can do. Now, the Ghanaians have seen the two distant scenario, and so it is clear that God wants to do something special for Ghana. You know, that's why JM is coming back, and I believe what happened in America will happen. We repeat that thing will happen again in Ghana. It happened in the UK to the former Labour Party has come back. So it's a wind that is blowing, and nothing can change that.
Okay, let's hope so. Let me bring in Mr. Mahingo, African Continental Unity Party. I think it's one of the new parties. I hope so. What do we expect? What do we expect from ACAP?
First of all, let me greet my colleague panelists and greet you, Jerome, for giving me and ACAP the opportunity to be on your show. For ACAP, we currently have our provincial political party certificate that allows us to go all 275 constituencies to get endorsements. And so far, we are left with only the Western region, the Ashanti region, and the Eastern region. But the rest of the country we have covered. Okay. And what to expect from ACAP when we get our political party certificate is that we want to bring sanity into our body politics, and also bring back the pride, the Black Star, the pride that we used to have, and the dignity to be restored in our society. So the party is filled with men and women with so much empathy for the everyday Ghanaian. We don't have any big man supporting us, throwing in money here and there, because we believe that the money politics is destroying us gradually. So for ACAP, what Ghanaians have to expect from us is that standardization of policies. That is our mark. Our policies will be standardized, so much so that if Reverend is the one leading us, if Reverend leaves, and Jerome, you are taking out from Reverend, you are going with the same policies. We are not going to release manifesto every 4 years or every 2 years. It's a document that is guiding the party. It's no one person's view. You see, because what we have in Ghana now is that if Nonado is going, even though the party is there, Bawumia is coming with his own agenda. Yeah. So it's an individual vision. That is, it doesn't work like that. We need a solid policy backed by the party itself, so that nobody can move away from the policy of the group. We can use the cathedral issue as a typical example, is that what Ghanaians wanted? Is that what the party, even the MPP party, not all of them, they don't like the cathedral, but the boss says, this is what I want. This is what I promised God that I will do. But the party didn't promise God anything. And now it has caused us so much money, so much pain. Buildings have been pulled down and all that. So for ACAP, we are bringing some sanity back. Thank you.
Wonderful. But before I let you go, ACAP, African Continental Unity Party, it looks as if it's running across the entire African continent. Is that the understanding?
Yes, it is. But usually when you talk of unification, because if I'm discriminated against, I'm not being discriminated against because I'm from Ghana or Nigeria, but because of your skin.
Your black color. Yeah.
Yeah. So our destiny is inseparable. There's nothing we can do about that. If me and a Senegalese are standing there without mentioning our name, we are Africans.
Yeah.
You see, so we are running across the continent. We have the party growing in Sierra Leone. We have it in Cameroon. We have it in Gambia. We have it in Kenya. So we are growing, but so far is the Ghana chapter that is keeping the fort and that is kind of ahead of the rest in terms of getting the party registered.
Okay. Well, we'll come back and find out how ACAP will utilize Kwame Nkrumah's ideologies, and then we'll see. Chairman Akwa, 32 years of democracy, 9 elections. Are there any lessons for the Ghanaian?
Yeah, thank you so much. Like my other colleague said, I also like to extend my greetings to the panel. And to your viewers and listeners, I miss your show. It's been a while.
Yeah.
32 years. If you talk of 32 years, Jerome, you are referring to the 1982 Fourth Republic. Now, the question some people are asking is our democracy moving forward? Now, from other presidents that has come in to serve the country, they've done their best for the country. But for this current group led by Nana Akufo-Addo, they have really dismantled everything of democracy in Ghana. Jerome, let me do some basic, let me read something briefly, then I'll continue briefly. I won't take that long. You see, sometimes, I mean, now we have other political parties trying to form in Ghana. They want to all come and serve the country. The question is, what is their aims and objectives? Like my other last speaker said, talk about policies. You see, in politics, the definition of it is everyday life. Refers to the way the countries are governed and the ways the country makes rules and laws for their people. If you are doing politics in the country, your intention is to make sure you serve the people. Is it what we are seeing in Ghana today? No, Jerome. Is it what Kwame Nkrumah brought our country to? No. This current group of people in charge of governance, they have really messed the country. So the 32 years you talked about, I will forgive Rawlings. Rawlings was a military man who turned into civilian based on pressures of the day. How about the other civilians who has passed through the system? Look, Kufuor, he did his best. He didn't even move Ghana to the way we want in terms of infrastructure for the people, for the youth. He didn't. Most came in halfway through. He managed to extend before JDM came in. You see, JDM, if you look at his period of services that he provided for the country, there was a bit of truncation between his era of taking over from Mills, then his own 3.5 years. He didn't serve 4 years. And look at what he did for the country. Jerome, every country develop on its infrastructure. If you want to develop the system for the people, make sure you have infrastructure in place for the youth to get a job, the economy to grow, and the people people will feel that, look, we are in a country where we can get a job to do. But this current crop, NPP people who are in power, they've really messed the democracy that we started. So it is time that we tell them that, look, your 8 years of the mess is enough. So the 32 years you talked about, we have some good part of the 32 years and some bad of the 32 years. But this current 4 years of this crop of NPP regime, they have to go. Time is up for them to go. That is where I'll stop for now.
Okay. Well, if elections are just a benchmark of democracy, then we'll say probably we have grown. But it's just a fragment of the entire terminology of democracy. But let's look at 2024 elections. I will come down to a bit more, but let me go to Reverend Lartey. Reverend, do you think Ghana is ready for 2024 elections?
Oh, yes, definitely. Ghana is ready. But I can say we have a little problem with the EC. EC is messing up things. And, that's the fear. I mean, going forward, because many people are doubting the way a lot of error, even right from the beginning of the registration, blah blah blah. Many errors has happened. If not the NDC, IC team who are on their feet, but many things will have. I mean, this election will be something else. But thank God, things are moving forward. So we believe at the end of the day it will be peaceful. Because everybody is, I mean, Ghana, we all love peace. And I believe everybody is expecting a peaceful election. But we pray that EC will do the right thing so that the right people, I mean, the right person or the group of people or the party that the people of Ghana want to lead us, we take, I mean, we be the victorious party that day. So that is what I can say. But for now, but going forward, I think the parties that are contesting have to be vigilant in some ways, like how the NDC is doing. We expect the NPP, though most of the things are favoring them, but if they love Ghana as if they want to, they love Ghana, I think they have to be extra vigilant the same way the NDC is doing, so that the peace that we've been enjoying for some time now can be maintained. That's what I can say. And then the individuals, like the candidates, what it calls, the other candidates like Sheda and Alain, we urge all of them to be vigilant, because if we put, if we're all checking the LGC, I mean, appropriately, I believe they will do their best, if not 100%, at least 90%, because a human being, every human organization, there will be some error somewhere. But if they all go to sleep and say, oh, let's leave EC to do its own thing or their own thing, I think there will be problems. So, but we in the religious sector, we are praying all the time that people will have good conscience, so that everything will go on peacefully. I believe at the end of the day, it will be peaceful.
Yeah, I will come back to you, because there was a video with the head of the Pentecostal church, or sometimes the Christian Council, when they presented the bill on the LGBTQ at Parliament. So I will come back to it, and then we'll cross-examine it against the election 2024. Let me come back to my big brother, Kweku. The motivation for African Continental Unity Party, you've already stated clearly about standardization. Is that the only cause for which you have formed this party?
There are several causes, but the core is for Africa to take charge of itself. Okay, so the blueprint, we are fortunate to have Osagyefo's blueprint. There might be changes with it, But if we were to go by that document alone, I don't think Ghana will be struggling by now. As we speak, Reverend, from where you are, if you are coming back home, you are taking a foreign flight. But I'm sure all of us know that some time ago there was a DC-10 from New York to Accra.
Yeah.
Okay, we had our way to come home, but now we don't have it. So what ACAP is saying is that it's about time that we start looking back to some of the things that we're doing right and bring it back into the society. There was a, what do you call it, PWD, Public Works Department or something.
Public Works Department.
Were they not the ones recruiting people from the primary, from the middle school?
Yeah.
As secretaries at the ministries? And now each government comes and tries to form its own organization, and then at the end you hear 6 months we have not been paid. You recruit people and you use them. We are basically abusing our own self. So how do you expect the Lebanese or the foreigner to then treat you? Because your own leader is abusing you. If Jerome have graduated and is home minding his own business, knowing he doesn't have a job, okay, the government comes and says, Jerome, for national service, I'll send you to Elembele. You don't have a family there. Prior to getting the service, you are not working, so you don't have money. How do you go to Elembele? To borrow money? Okay, you borrow your mommy borrows you money to go, thinking that at the end of the day, your allowance will come for you to give back the money to your mom. Now the money doesn't come. That alone creates so much frustration within the family, within the society. So this is what we have to look at, that the very welfare of the people is at the very heart of the African Continental Party. I'll tell you a story. When we went to the Northern Gonja to do the endorsement, the guys who went there couldn't believe that that place is part of Ghana.
Okay.
The level of poverty and non-existence of infrastructure. How can we do this to our own selves? So for us, the welfare of the people is our only motivation. And we believe that once we get our certificate, we will invite all and then present ourselves to them to assess us and what we are saying. So that is from the African Continental side. And yeah. back to what is at stake this election. The destiny. Ghana is in the operation theater now. We are about to be operated. So our destiny is in our own hands. But I believe and hope that Ghanaians will make the rightful choice, because the suffering is there, and that is what is causing all the tension. The frustration have boiled up and is spilling over. So I hope that things go right, so we can have our destiny intact. So that's what I expect.
We pray so. We pray so. But if you look at it now, people have suffered for the past 4 years. They're about to go to the polls, and now they are sharing money. They are sharing clothes. They are sharing rice. They are sharing everything. And as people always say, the Ghanaian has a short memory, because as soon as we receive that, then everything changes. Then you go and vote for the same person who disappears right after getting your vote till the next 4-year term. Are you thinking that we can change this mentality from the ACA point of view?
mentality can be changed, you see. But the thing is, when you are pushed back so much, you don't have any option than to rebel.
Sure.
So Bob Marley have a song that says that we have been stepping on the wine press for far too long. You see, like we are mark timing. We are just standing in one place. You see, no forward, no backwards, we are just there. So now we have suffered all these years and you are sharing rice. The person is so hungry, so much so that at that point, all he needs is the energy to survive the next day. So this is where Ghanaians have to realize that they are being actually abused, because if all these resources are there, if all this money you are sharing is available, I mean, NABCO, what is it, NABCO?
Yeah, NABCO.
At one point, they owed NABCO 8 months into a year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you have money. So if you are a NABCO recruit, you have to know that you have been used. You have been used. So then you have to vote against the system that abused you. Your destiny, you are looking at your own destiny. Are you going to exchange all your suffering and your destiny for a fried rice and chicken?
200 Ghana.
I mean, what kind of person are you? And then you go home and complain the next Monday. You were not paid for 8 months. You go about borrowing that you cannot even pay back. So you have the opportunity to relive. Give yourself an opportunity to live better life. Yeah. So ACAP, we are saying that the monetization of politics should be taken out entirely. And that means, like my earlier uncle said, democracy itself will not produce good governance. But good governance, very, very, very good governance, will produce almost a near perfection democracy. Why? Because every institute, if it's against the law to share money, if it's against the law to share money, why are we arresting people? Okay. Why are we arresting them? So some people say Ghana is a lawless country. Do I agree? Yes, I agree. Because if there are laws, how dare a certain MP will go in line to share food? I mean, why? For what reason? If it's against the law. And imagine, Jerome, if that person was arrested whilst doing that. Do you think another person will do integrity?
Not at all.
No. So the institutions are failing us big time.
Maybe we'll look at it again, but maybe it is the architecture of our system, where you have the police service not being independent, but directly under the police council headed by the vice president, you know. So when there are instructions from above, they are more or less unable to be on their own.
Okay.
You know.
Let's say something.
Can you see? I don't know. Can I come in?
Okay. Okay, Mr. Akwa, let me take Reverend Tio, and I'll come to you, and then take some other things to add. So, Reverend Tio, you were trying to say something.
Yeah. I agree with my brother Kweku on the law or something. Say government have to put his feet on the ground. That every law, especially in this regard, we have to be serious about it. You see, for the past 8 years, we've seen a deterioration of our institutions are being damaged. And then that is the bad governance. Like the judiciary, the legislature, and other basic laws have been, ignored. And then the country have become like a lawless country, or let me say a banana republic. And that is the reason why things like this is going on. You can't do this in Israel here. Police will take you right away. because they believe in this thing, rule of law. And that I will urge the next government that will come to put their feet on the ground. They have to strengthen all the institutions like the police and the other and the judiciary to, when the case is referred there, they have to do everything by law. We have seen that the judiciary is now completely destroyed. If somebody from the government or a family of the government, a case has been sent to a court, they tell it. The law is being thrown away, and they use their own thing. And this affected us very badly, very bad. So I will urge one day, or maybe the next government, we will all raise our voices for them to make sure the laws of the country works, irrespective of the one who committed. You see, when something is wrong, it's wrong. Here in Israel, even the president or prime minister can be invited by the police.
Yeah.
Police can investigate, and we have this in Israel here. Our two former presidents have been in jail. One prime minister have been in jail. Even right now, Netanyahu himself has a case, a criminal case going on. So I think it is time Ghana have to rise up and raise you see, when laws have been when the government when law has been implemented exactly how it's supposed to be, there will be law and order. There will be order in the country. So I will urge the next government to make sure things work right. If myself right now as a man of God, if I go to Ghana and misbehave, they don't have to deal with me. But we say, oh, a call from above. A call from above. This call from above thing have to be, eradicated. We have to take this thing out. A law is a law. If you do something, they don't have to deal with you. So I agree with my brother, and I think this is the time we strengthen our institutions. Right now, the EC is completely out. The judiciary is out. The legislator now, the judiciary want to destroy the legislator, all kind of things. So I think it is time we have to sit up as a country.
Definitely, we have to reset our country if we want to move forward.
John Mahama, a reset of the country is very important. We have to reset.
I have borrowed his word, right? To reset the country. You see, simply because, let me say, not only those in government, the politician or the political party in government, its members are so powerful.
Yes.
They are so powerful and untouchable.
Yeah.
You find even a national officer of a political party in government, and he can issue instructions to regional commander of a police, of the police, and he has to take it up. We must find a way of overcoming this. But before that, Temanakwa, you wanted to make a contribution to this. Can you do that before I throw your question to you?
Yes, okay. Most of the things I wanted to say, I think you guys, you try to summarize it, which is good. There is something as a country we need to do. One of the key areas we need to touch is, yes, the law, the constitution. So when JDM talked about resetting the country, it involves a lot. We have to have a holistic nature of the country and the constitution. A lot of things has to change and make sure that the system is such that no political party will come and manipulate the entire system to their favor. Because as we practice now, Jerome, our constitution has to have a look at the judicial aspect of judges, how they are appointed into positions. Because if you have a well-balanced judicial system in place, that's where the country works. Ghana, as we speak, go and have a look at the police council and look at who constitute the list of the police council. You have the vice there. You have the minister of the party there. You have the government appointing people there. You see, so even the police as it is now, it's a problem. So we need to have the constitution review it and make sure things has to change in the constitution document so that the law of the country cannot be manipulated. You see, when you guys were having a discussion, you mentioned Ghana Airways. I think the ACAP gentleman, the issue of why Kwame Nkrumah wanted Ghana to be where it should be. Look, Ghana Airways, as a national airline, I didn't understand why President Kufuor sold that airline. There was no need for it. Because you see, an airline, if you're operating a national airline and you already have the routes where it is secured, you build on it and expand. By the time Kufuor abolished Ghana Airways, which was doing well, even if they owe, we should have maintained Ghana Airways and expand it. But they collapsed it. The same thing when Akufo-Addo came into office. They said some of the banks needed something million to bail out. What did they do? They collapsed it. And they used huge sums of money. So you see, we need an institution in place, institution that even if I'm the president of the day, it will take me a long time to manipulate the system. So JDM resetting that he says he's coming to do, some of us want to play, and I know NDC is coming back. Yes, Ghanaians will vote for NDC to come back, but one thing we need to do is that as soon as NDC is in power, they need to look at the reviewing of the 1992 Constitution doc, so that whatever is not working well within the Constitution, we deal with it. Because you see, Ghana, the country is suffering. The institutions are suffering. Though our big men in the country who have to help the system, they are all quiet, Doc. They are all quiet. Nobody is talking. The small parties who should come and join the NDC, we are not saying they should come and be. When something is going wrong and it's not going on well in the country, the small parties, we expect them to also speak. NDC is not asking them they should all join NDC, but speak to the government that, look, this is not good. They are waiting for NDC to come to power before they have their bearings. It's not good for the country. So we want to plead to people like the parties like the ACAP and the other small parties who are coming up that, look, don't wait for JDM to come to power before you speak. The country belongs to all of us. Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, they've really denigrated the country. So it is time you tell them in their face that enough is enough. This is not how Kwame Nkrumah fought for. 1951, when they handed Kwame Nkrumah Ghana, he started with nothing. He built the country to the stage we find country now. But look at what the MPP has done. They've moved us back 20 years back. I'll pray for John Dramani Mahama that even if he get the power, the good Lord himself will guide him. Because the hole that NPP has dug for any government that takes over, Jerome, it's not going to be an easy. So, Reverend Minister in Israel, we need your prayers. Reverend, listen, Ghana needs your prayers because what NPP Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia has done to the state, how the people are suffering.
I can say on authority that last Friday, we had an all-night special prayer for Ghana.
Please, Ghana need prayers.
Because we prayed from 9 o'clock in the evening.
Jerome, with the election, Jerome, with the election this time around, Jerome, NDC is not joking. Ghana belongs to Ghanaians. Whatever it will take for us to monitor the election, make sure whatever, any car that we are suspecting that we don't agree with, we call the police to inspect what is in the car. This time around, we are not going to sleep 24 hours. We are going to stay on the ballot paper until everything is sorted.
Mr. Akwa, let me come back to you.
Come back.
We are looking at the current dispensation, the Fourth Republic. You are talking about structures, you are talking about institutions and the rest. I think the ball now comes back to the court of the NDC. The NDC takes the credit for the constitution that we are using currently, because when they were doing the constitution, they were drafting it, the MPP and the rest left and said they could not sit down with farmers and kinky sellers and all that. So you are taking that credit. So will you accept that you did not lay proper foundation for the country. That's why we are where we are now.
Jerome, constitution are living documents. You practice it, then you see where the lacunas and the loopholes are, and you improve on it. No constitution can start from day one and it will be perfect. It is when the people are using the document, then you get to say, oh,
even
like
America,
what is happening?
Even America are doing amendments on their law.
Yes, so constitution is a living document. You keep improving it but you know what? Nana Akufo-Addo, being a lawyer, you should have known better in terms of improving the document. But what is going on in terms of the way things are being managed, Doc, it's not the best. Let's assume NDC didn't see all some of the mistakes we are seeing now, like president appointing a lot of judges, no ceiling. At least he should have said, look, let's put a cap on the number of judges we appoint so that we don't create imbalance with the judicial system. What do we see here? Now, people don't even trust the judicial system now. So JDM has to go into the review. There are other areas that we need to have a look at, like go to the police council. Me, I've said, Jerome, I wish we have an independent police council. So that within the police, we have an independent IGP. Independent IGP where no president can control the IGP.
Of course.
I was happy when I heard that the military this time has issued a caveat that no soldier is going to the police station. And I want to send a message to John Dramani Mahama. Anybody who is listening to this video should send a copy to him. That we beg him. They should make sure if there's any military person at the police station, we should raise alarm. Call the police to come and arrest that military officer. We don't need any.
That's why they said no military person should be found at the polling station.
That's right.
But they did not say that the military will not be find their way at the collation centers.
Jerome, we don't need any military officer anywhere. They have election security led by the IGP. So it's the IGP who should call. We don't need the military. Jerome, 2020, 8 people were killed to date. This government has said nothing about it because some of the military guys, they have what they call a disaster for pressing the triggers and killing people. We want the police. We, the NDC, are saying that it is only the police and the police task force that should monitor the election system. We don't need the military. We call the military when we know that, look, the country is at war. We are not at war. We are going to election, Jerome. So NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, being a lawyer, he should know better. We beg him. As for him, his time is up. He should seek some advice. Okay? He's 82-something years. We thank him. He has served the country. His time that he came to serve is enough. Now he's brought in Bawumia. He said that is his beloved son. We agree. He and George Gediam are the one competing now. We don't want any, twisting, arm twisting. The election should be free and fair. Jen Mensah, the electoral committee should make sure elections are won at the polling station. When they go to the coalition center, this thing must be counted nicely. We don't want any delays. So those are the things that as a political party, we want for our people. So thank you so much. I'll stop here for now. Maybe you come back.
Let me come back. Let me come back to Kweku. I love ACAF. And I'm sure very soon we'll be talking hand in hand on the. I have a problem. I think that the Ghanaian per se, who goes into politics, does not go into politics because he wants to contribute to the development of the country. The person goes into politics because he thinks of himself or herself. In the developed world here, most of the politicians, just look at them. They have built their lives. They have earned everything in public service. And once they get in there, it is nothing about themselves, but it is about the state. How can we inculcate such mentality into our people back home?
All right. Thank you so much once again. As we speak, the African Continental Party, we have something we call the Free-Minded Pan-African Academy. Okay. And we have classes every Wednesday.
Okay.
And what we are doing is an open class. That just like you mentioned, we are grooming. We are bringing up people of substance to understand what you just described. That you should go into this field of endeavor, politics, people's service, patriotism, everything, that you are in there to improve the welfare of the people. Because if the welfare, I mean, in the Western world, people don't care if an MP is passing, they don't care. You know why? Their welfare is secured. He doesn't have a lack to tell you are not an attraction.
At all.
You are nobody, basically. You understand? Why? Because the welfare is secured. Nobody is calling the parents to bring school fees, or you didn't pay school fees, so go home. You understand?
Yeah.
The basic schools, for example, is where everybody goes. That is ACAP. That is the angle from which ACAP is coming from, and I can bet my life on it. That we are for the people. Without the people, we don't exist. Without the people, there wouldn't be the need to even try and form a new political party.
Yeah.
But you and I can tell that the pain, the suffering of the masses keep getting worse by the day. Every year, we hear a year of roads. Every year. Put 32 years. If we should look back at all the roads that every government says they have done, we shouldn't have bad roads in Ghana. For 32 years. But go to Ghana now and travel around. You see, so if once the welfare of the people is not of your major concern or priority, you are likely to turn to yourself and your families. Reverend mentioned Nanado being a lawyer. He has seen the loopholes in the constitution and took advantage of it.
I took advantage of it.
He took advantage of it. Is that not what the lawyers usually do?
Yeah.
They look at the loopholes and circle it. So, in this current political dispensation, the only presidential candidate who is talking about amendment of the constitution is Kofi Granting. Okay. The president shouldn't be the head of the armed forces. Okay, if the armed forces were truly independent, it wouldn't have to take the president to send them to go to a Galamsey site. If they are independent, because if somebody is destroying your water, it's a national security issue. Do you need a president's permission to protect the country? No. You went into the service to serve the country. But now, until the president says go, they can't move an inch. Because he is the head. Yeah. So we should have a constitution that should take that position from the president. The vice president shouldn't be the head of the police service. And so on and so forth. So these bodies can be independent. Look, they are destroying your water bodies. Did you see the president take a convoy to any Galamsey site to witness for himself?
No.
No. But because we live on water, food and water. You lack food, you are importing food from outside. Now you are left with water, and that water is being destroyed, and you are running around. So the welfare until the welfare of the people becomes the calling of these people we call politicians. We can do elections a million times. Nothing is going to happen. So we need new people to enter into the body politics. People who have the welfare of the people at heart, because the struggling is unimaginable. It's not all that we can say here, but Jerome, I'm sure all of us here, by the time you wake up in the morning, the messages that come, I need this, I need that, I need this. It's a constant thing. That is the situation our people find themselves. And we have to bring them some relief. Thank you.
Wonderful. Reverend, let me come to you right now. He just talked about Galamsey, and we are all aware of the report that was written by the former minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, that indicted a lot of government officials. And as a result of that, he came to conflict with his own government, and then they got rid of him. You remember the statement, Party Hiansika, and all that. NDC has been there before. During the NDC era, the Galamsey was not as rampant as we have seen now. What changed? What could have caused the current situation?
And the thing is, this NPP party, they are worth creating politicians and unpatriotic. They always, when they come to power, their understanding of politics or politicking is that you have to create wealth for yourself. You have to be rich before you go to a position. And that is the reason why they pursue their personal gains even more than,
national.
What they have to do for the country.
Okay.
They all the time think of what they will get than what deserve, what they have to do for the country. That's what I call unpatriotism. But I believe if the NDC comes to power, we have to start from somewhere. And what I'm talking about is that accountability is very important. You see, I spoke earlier about how we have to apply the law as it is. If JM or NDC will come to power and they apply, they hold everyone who have destroyed our environment and other things accountable. Those who are stealing the money, they've been able to put them, prosecute them. I believe we start from there. And if NDC has been able to do that, they themselves will be afraid that if they do the same thing, the other party that will come, we take them on. So I think this thing will go down a little bit. So I like the idea people are saying, Operation Recover All, oral, something like that. So we have to hold that in very, very, very important. The next NDC government, I believe NDC is going to win, actually, because NDC has a more patriotic agenda than the MPP. When NDC is in power, they think of the country first. But NDC, I'm a religious man, but I cannot hide it. It is true that it's only NDC that have developed Ghana better than any other party. NDC and then MPP has been in power 16 years, but if you see the development,
32 years. 16 years each, yes.
16 years each. And if you compute them at the same time, you see that NDC have developed Ghana more. That means NDC has Ghana at heart more than the MPP. And when they come, they just destroy everything, the economy, like how you said, even Ghana Airway and whatever, even Ghana Telecom, they sold it. All these things happen. So I want JM to take them on, especially those who are in the forest destroying they have to change the laws, and those who are doing this have damaged our environment, have to be taken on, have to be prosecuted and stop them. You see, we start from that place. And the second thing I want to say here is that JM started something by revamping the factories that Kwame Nkrumah built. We have those in the sites are there. Like how he revamped the Commander Sugar Factory, Kumasi Shoe Factory, and the other things. I will urge next NDC government to continue. We have to go back. I like the way what my brother said. Nkrumah started laid down a good foundation, but we derived from it. We derailed from that agenda, and I will act. We have to go back, try to revamp all these factories, and that will help the youth to get jobs to do. Because if the factories are working, they will get their job employment situation, unemployment situation will come down. And when the money is in the system, Ghana will move forward. Here in Israel, because of this thing, private sectors. The private sector generates more jobs than the
public sector.
That's why all the time the job, they all the time looking for workers. You can leave this job today, tomorrow get another one because the job is in the system. So I believe if Muhammad will take NDC government, we take my advice, it will help a lot. We don't need to go and start another factory somewhere. The factories are there. All Kwame Nkrumah factories are there. So we just revamp it and then we move on. And accountability, as I said, all the money that was stolen, we have to recover. And those who are damaging our water bodies must be held accountable. And they have to, if there's any law that we use to punish them, we have to do it. And now we set a pace. Now we set something down that NDC2 will be, they will try to avoid what the MPP did because you held them accountable. So if you do the same thing, if you go out of this thing, government, they will follow you. And that will be the only way that Ghana will be law-abiding country.
Wonderful. Mr. Chairman-Akwa.
Yep.
Reverend Latte just talked about accountability and all that. Kweku talked about the patriotism, how people have to develop all that. Do you think our educational system is a contribution factor?
Yes and no. But before I talked about a bit of an education, let me say something concerning the, I think the ACAP man, when he's talking about the Constitution Review, he mentioned, the Constitution Review 2010, Atamal started reviewing. So we have a full document in place, which JDM has said that when he comes, he will have a look at the document. Because the president, as you have too many powers. So too much power. So there's a need.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yes. So there's a need to review the constitution and make sure that certain things are put in place, especially.
But that is Chairman Akwa. Then that is where I'll blame you and your political party.
You review it. Don't worry, Jerome. Don't worry. We want to review it. You see the
because Professor Mills started the issue of the review. They went around the entire country. They met chiefs and the ordinary people. They gathered everything. When he was ready, the same MPP guys went to court. And that stopped it. The process couldn't continue. But the NDC has been quiet on this until today. You need to let the Ghanaian know that you were interested and you are taking steps to review the constitution, but the same MPP decided to block it. They blocked it because they have seen loopholes, and they are, even as we speak now, they have made much more use of those loopholes.
Yeah, Jerome, I quite agree with you. You have a perfect point there. But you see, let me give you a bit of small scenario.
Okay.
If you look at the structure of the presidency, okay, I'll take it from Atamos to John Dramani Mahama. Then you see where the review problem came in. You see, Mills was the president till he died somewhere, is it 2012?
Yeah.
So Mills served almost 1.5 or 2.5 years in office. Then John Dramani Mahama took over halfway. By that time, the document is almost there. It's ready. In between, you see, JDM has to manage Atama's death and transition.
Yeah.
That took him 1 and 2 years. So it was difficult for him to carry on. So he wanted stability before he carried on. In between, he has to do election. Then JDM went to election, that is 2013. When even he won the election, and now Akufo-Addo and his people went to court, and it took almost 9 months of his time. So JDM, in principle, served as a president for only 3 and some months, not 4 years. And so there was a bit of, small lacuna there. That's what that delayed a bit of things. Even that, look at JDM 3.5 years in office, and look at the amount of infrastructure and the things he did. And then now Akufo-Addo's 8 years, plus almost close to 700 billion Ghana cedi. What have they achieved apart from toilets building? Different type of toilets. No, seriously. No, if ask the Baumia went somewhere, stood on podium, is cataloging his achievement, mentioning toilets. Now, when they are leaving office in 10 days, now the president is now commissioning left, right, center. You know what? Let me come back to education. You know, Jerome, let me tell you something. Since 1951, when Kwame Nkrumah took office and brought Ghana to a stage when this UP tradition drove him out, Ghana has never been where it is. It is only NDC when they come to power, they try to do something good. Kufuor came into office. What is his achievement? We can't even, some of us can't even put, handle on it. Listen, the free SHS, it was a bit more or less like a progressive education, which they should have followed John Dramani Mahama's plan. In free SHS, first you look at the community environment and you build the needed secondary schools. So you need the infrastructure in all the communities so that it becomes a day secondary school for the community. Then the kids can go in and go home. That's what John Dramani Mahama was doing. But these people came in, and because they want this, and they say, oh, okay, bam, let's do the free SHS. Then they rolled it in. It's a good plan. Jerome, let me ask you a question. This time, I will turn the host to myself to you. Jerome, since MPP took over power and they started the free SHS, have you come across any policy document on free SHS?
No.
What is the color of the free SHS from MPP? Have you seen a copy?
No.
Jerome, I said I have searched and said maybe the ACAB guys will help us. The free SHS, which is a good thing we need to practice for our children, there is no a concrete document in place. So that when they leave office, another government can say, look, this is the document, let's continue. They don't have it. Because listen, if you are doing a free SHS, you are talking about the education for our children. From junior secondary school, when they finished the secondary school, then they go to SSS, not all of them will go to university. Some has to go to technical, some has to go to vocational, some has to end up in the polytechnic. All this must be planned properly based on the numbers. These people don't have a policy in place. And that is where we are with this traffic light system. So JDM said, when we come, we need to review that free SHS. So it is very important that the education system we have in place, now we have our vice president, our incoming vice, who has a bit of education background. So we need to have a full policy document on the free SHS, review it nicely so that we look at how best we can train our kids. We should move more into technical areas where we train the kids in plumbing, electrical, building construction, things that will give job to our kids. These days, the orthodox type of education, they finish and they don't have job. It's difficult. So we need to move in where science, technology, engineering, those areas, we need to train them more. So I agree with you. We have a challenge with the educational area, but JDM said we'll have a look at the free SHS. We look at the numbers. The policy document that is not in place, we need to produce one so that within the policy, we know how many kids are coming out from the secondary school, how many are going to technical, then we plan everything nicely. So it is an area we need to make sure we develop it nicely, Jerome.
Wonderful. I will come back to you, but then I want to take the comments from our viewers, and then when we come back, it looks as if the NDC has been admiring the free bits of the MPP government, but we will come back and then we'll ask a few questions on that. So this is our special edition on Ghana Decides, looking at election 2024. It's been very privileged having a lot of distinguished and well-learned people, Reverend Theo Latte of Israel. I've had Mr. Kweku Mahingo of African Continental Unity Party, and I have Mr. Francis Kwesi Akwa of the UK and Ireland chapter of the NDC. So wherever you are, it's a privilege having you, and we will take the comments from our viewers, and thereafter we bring them back. It's our producer. Okay, Jaframa TV says, today is an exclusive program. Greetings from Rawura in Oti region. Kweku Yefu says, good evening, watching from Suhum in the eastern region. Kweku, we are grateful. My popular T-cell line, Nyame. Nyame says, wonderful show, watching live from Inkonta in the Oti region. I'm the popular T-cell line in Inkonta Lorry Station. Your program is also live at on Adalema Community Information Center at Tutupen and KJB Adale. Grateful, Nyame. Bafi says, I'm watching from Akusenia Somonyak. Bafi, we are grateful that you are part of the show. Mavis says, good evening, Jerome and your guest, watching from Lisbon, Portugal. Good evening to you, Mavis, as well. NDC Diaspora Union, more fire, Chairman Aqua, watching from Amsterdam, Holland on YouTube. Great. Oh, Akos says, you are doing a good job. Akos, we are grateful that you are part of the show this evening. Asempahini says, good evening, watching and listening from Achem Hemai. Asempa, you are back. Why are you not joining the CPP, which is the official political party of Osajefo? Okay, I'm sure this is referring to ARCAP. Sweet Mother Tete says, this is a good show. We are grateful and we appreciate that. Sekwe family says, loving the show, watching from Jumapo near Koforijua. Oh, Ko Mensa says, Ko Mensa Plateau, Domi Kobinya constituency, 4 days more to election. Let's vote, bam, 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 for Dr. Bawumia to maintain free HSS and trainee allowance. If you vote for NDC, free senior high school, free HS and trainee allowance will be cancelled. Special greetings to Lawyer Mike Okoye Jr., PC for Domi Kobinya constituency, and Honorable Nana Ahmad Okoa, PC for Okaiko North by Ko Mensa Plateau. Okay, wonderful. Oh, King Kojo Ajayevua is right here. The welfare of the people is our only motivation. Beautiful. The ACAP is indeed an agenda to rebuild Ghana and Africa by all Africans. Lady Mal says, good evening. Please ask Kweku, now that they don't have a candidate, which of the presidential candidates are they supporting? Watching from St. Petersburg, Russia on Twitch. Okay, I will ask him. The Patience Daku says, good evening. Watching from Hamburg, Germany on YouTube. Yeah, we are recording live on YouTube. Ghana Himfia, greetings from Bozunsu in the Frontier Akwa South District. Sheila Edu say exactly. Sheila, we are grateful. Nanata from greetings from Tatali Northern Region and Sakina Information Center listeners. We are grateful that you are carrying our feet. Bob says wonderful show, watching from Paris, France. Uncle Ajay says it is very refreshing to hear the wise voices of my comrades and brothers, Reverend Latte and Chairman Aqua. We know we will navigate the challenges of the coming days as victory awaits us. To my young comrade Kweku Mahengo from ACAP, I commend your dedication to our beloved Osajefo's dreams. But if I may ask, why do Nkrumahs continue to fragment instead of uniting under the CPP banner to become the strongest third force and ultimately govern Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana once more? That would be a good question. Pamela says from UK here, okay. Fans TV, watching from our Flower Volta region, grateful for carrying our feet. Yeah. Ima David says, Kweku is hammering the nail on the head. Ghanaians must unlearn to relearn what it means to be patriotic and to understand being in a political office is the same as being a public servant. Ima, we are grateful. Frema says, a great discussion watching from Mantiniak Ho. Okay, Ajiman, yes, Ajiman Ebenezer, brilliant presentation, comrades. We must all embrace the ACAP's vision in order to all rebuild this country and Africa collectively as a people. Comrade Kweku Mahingo doing Oh, so fast. I missed that. Okay. Kojo is back here. Kweku, you are amazing. Your submissions gives us so much hope and relief. Indeed. Can't get this. Irresist to something. Best viewers. Okay, Ima is back. Ima Davis is back. The NDC government sold our harbor ports to a France business person. The privatization of the port has led to ridiculous high tariffs that's affecting prices of commodities. Has NDC have regret about that decision? What policies does the party have in place to reverse such sales and the protection of Ghana's invaluable assets? Okay, I would ask, and then we'll find a way out. Hybrid Motors Africa, great job, Kweku. Oh, wow. Hybrid Motors, okay. Well, so far, so good. This is Ghana Decides, coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. And I have wonderful personalities having a look into election 2024. So we'll bring them back and then we'll look at what is next for all of us.
Jerome.
I think a lot of questions were coming to you. One, why wouldn't the Nkrumahs come together and form a third force so that you can have the opportunity to rule Ghana once again instead of the fragmentations?
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for all the comments that you read to us. So we are very open-minded political group or persons. We are very tolerant, but very strict. And the reason why we are being so strict with what we are doing is that we know how much the CPP has been infiltrated. You understand? Yeah. When the news of the overthrow of Sajifo came to him, okay, there was a stage where the people that he traveled with,
yeah,
were actually they panicked and were going to the private like they've taken some medication. So he asked them, I didn't know you guys were this soft. You see, so this ACAP group, currently we have had a lot of talks with the Progressive Alliance of Ghana because their ideas are also Pan-African.
Okay.
Same as the African Continental Unity Party. So there has been a collaboration amongst us. Okay, we are not ready for this election. You are fully registered with your certificate, but still doesn't have some candidates. So what can we do together? Okay, we feel we are stronger in this region or this constituency. Let's put our man there. The person there is a Pan-African. If he wins, he wins for Pan-African. He wins for Progressive Alliance. He wins for ACAP. He wins for CPP. Because the truth is this. We have gotten to a stage in time in global politics. Look, Trump says, go home, go back home. Europe says, go back home. So where is our home? Where is our home? And we have accepted this challenge. And now we say, okay, let's build our home. Burkina Faso is leading the way. Jerome, if we should go to the street of Accra or the whole of Ghana and ask Ghanaians if they would like to have President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina as the president of Ghana, and bring me your answers. Do you understand? Everything he is doing, everyone, Burkina-based, non-Burkina-based, are in full support of it. Why? Because that is the only way for the African. Yeah. It is the only way. So ACAP joining CPP, it shouldn't be a difficult thing. It shouldn't be a difficult thing at all. And I'm sure that day will come. Because as we speak, on the 21st of December, we are having a strategic gathering where we invite different personalities as well as our political party members. And these are some of the deliberations that we will do. So be rest assured that day will come, because we feel that if the CPP has been infiltrated so much so that they even struggle to get 2%, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Trust has been eroded. How do you restore this trust? Are you going to join them with the same name? Are you going to join them with a change of name? Because the trust there is being eroded, and they've allowed themselves to be infiltrated. You see, so for ECAP, I mean, we have certain policies that is under lock and key. But for the sake of my senior elders here, I will reveal some of these things to you. We believe that our government should have a document called the contract. The contract, that is the name. And it will be in the form of a newspaper where every contract that the country signs, either with a Ghanaian, whoever, should be published.
Perfect.
Percentage will be published, witnesses will be published, majority holders will be mentioned. So we wake up every day not in doubt of a contract that we have signed. And it is the only way that we can regain trust in policies and in the system, because if the government is that transparent, then who are you at the state housing to dodge document?
Sure.
In President Mahama's time, there was an affordable housing policy, right?
Yeah.
Kufuor the same. And the Nanado's government the same. What happened to the State Housing Corporation? They should be in charge. State Housing Corporation by Dr. Nkrumah, right?
Yeah.
Should be in charge. So State Housing should be the institute employing architects from Legon, Kwame Nkrumah University, from the whole Polytechnic, Takoradi Polytechnic, to be drawing facilities across the region. You don't have to go and give it to a Canadian architecture or somebody to charge you millions of dollars. You have architects in the Polytechnic.
Just look at the National Cathedral. That
Yes.
source to somebody in America for.
You see, so imagine that if state housing is well funded and independent, they will recruit all these students that have completed school that are home. Okay, we need a 50-unit apartment in Esikado, in Hohoi Polytechnic. There are architecture students there. That is the task. That is their job. And they will be proud to present their drawing to the school for other students to see what the architectural department have done. And that is what will motivate a first-year student to pursue that course. Because he knows that when he finishes, definitely he'll get a job at the State House. And Reverend spoke about plumbers and stuff. If the state housing have massive housing everywhere, they know that apartment 15, 16, the tenant have reported that their WC is leaking. You have the staff. And one thing is the government will get it tax from the source, because they are on your payroll.
No payroll.
Yeah, but now the person is standing in circle selling telephone and you want to tax him, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Employ him directly and get your taxes at source. You see, so for ECAP, there are things, because we have studied the system for some time and we know what we need to do. One, we need to be united as a nation at least, and then move forward with one policy document. Reverend mentioned now that the free HS, there's no policy document. So President Mahama, if he comes, for example, have almost less than 4 years to do a lot of things. To review the education system will take a year. To tackle Galamsey will take another year. You see, so we have to look at these things, that something has to be done as a nation as a nation. So for ECAP, some of these things we are taking it extremely serious. The welfare of the people. Yes. Thank you very much.
Chairman Aqua, let me come to you. Kweku just mentioned something about publication of contracts, government contracts, or any bilateral agreements. That will be a significant point of transparency. Emma Davis asked a question about the sale of the Ghana Ports and Harbour. Fortunately for us, I think last 2 weeks we had the former Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbour on this same channel, who explained to us that government actually did not invest in, government per se did not put a cent in that rehabilitation of the harbour, but it was the authority, Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, that stood on its own, guaranteed it, and put its finances into it. There we know that they have 30% shares in that whole system, and not that it was sold out completely. And there are different groups of people who come together to take care of the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority. But from what Kweku just said about the publication of such bilateral agreements, which is a mark of transparency, if it had happened in the NDC era, will it not have killed a lot of mischief about the port being sold out until now? And now she's asking a question: do you have any plans to reverse it or to increase the stake of the government in the ports and other assets of the country?
Good. Thank you so much for that. But before that, let me say this. Somebody also asked a question on the Free SHS Council. I think these our NPP brothers and sisters are not listening. NDC is not going to cancel the Free SHS. It has come to stay. They are going to review it. That's what NDC said. Now, this issue of the port that you mentioned, I think JDM has even said it, that NDC didn't sell any port. Okay? It is a private investors who have come in to help. I will take Ghana Airport Company, for example. Kotoka International Airport, the Terminal 3. When that project was being, it is the airport company that went in. The government stood in as a guarantor for them. And the airport, the Terminal 3 has been built. So airport company will see to the management and the payment of whatever the money came from. So if at the port we had the same arrangement, it's a matter of getting the payment back to where the investment came in. Now our brothers are making it like a propaganda, whatever it is. It shouldn't be so. You see, this is our UP tradition. They dwells in propaganda. They should stop. Anytime when Kwame Nkrumah came, he started developing the country. They truncated it. Look at where we are. Anytime NDC in power, we try to fix the problems. They come and create for us. They come and they will truncate it. That is what this UP tradition they are all about. You see, Jerome, sometimes some of us, when we come to radio show and we begin to talk about Ghana, we get a bit emotional.
I see.
No, seriously. Because my dad was a strong CPP man. Now I belong to NDC. I know sometimes when I come to radio and I talk with emotion. President Nana Akufo-Addo, he only serving the nation for the people. The country called Ghana belongs to the people. So when they give you the opportunity to serve as a leader, it's the welfare of the people. That is what it's about. So let's stay focused. Now, my brother talked about contract signing and all those things. It is a good thing. That is why we have Auditor General in place for the country. The Auditor General duty is to make sure that all contracts that are signed in the country, he monitors it and bring report to Parliament. Now, Parliament should be where they supervise the executives when it comes to the government purse. Because that is, if you go to the, what you call, our money goes into the big fund, how do you call it?
The consolidated
fund. That is where all our money goes for expenditure. So Parliament has a role to play when it comes to government expenditure and a contract. All contracts should pass through parliament, and it must be monitored and make sure things are done. Now, this current group, NPP as a political group, you know what? They are clipping the wings of parliament. What they are doing to the speaker is, in a way, trying to prevent parliament to make sure that, look, they supervise the executives and make sure when things are not going well, they take care of it. When the OSP was speaking, before we started the program, you listen to the gentleman. He said now the OSP is being injected so that it doesn't go into cases. A case that you have to fight for the state. This is where the system is being collapsed under this regime. So when we take this group, NPP as a political party, out of the way, then what we may have to do is that we look at things that is not working well for the state. Then we review them. So let's Ghanaians, we want to assure you, what John Dramani Mahama has assured and promised that, look, when he come back, things that these people have reversed as back, he will have a look at it and make sure that whatever policies that is not working well for the state, Jerome, you being sometimes I know where you are coming from, but your objective when it comes to things, you ask the question that you have to ask. But let me assure you, this time around, John Dramani Mahama has learned his lessons. And let me assure you, when he come back, what we have to review, we will review them. But our ECA brothers, ACUP, I want to send a small plea to your group. This government has denigrated a lot of things, issues public statement to this government that, look, enough of the destruction. Don't leave the fight for NDC alone. I know you have what you call Kwame Nkrumah agenda.
We have done a lot of these things. When the SML scandal came out, we have issued more than 5 publications so far.
Good. So
even though we don't have a political party certificate yet, once we get it, it's gonna be something else.
No, you are movement. You see, you are like a political movement trying to come up, which is good.
Yes,
with Nkrumah's idea, but don't leave the fight for NDC alone to fight.
No, we won't. We won't at all.
What we need to do is that, as Ghanaians, we need to ask that, look, Ghanaians' welfare system, things are not working well. People can't afford a basic KK. People can't afford 3 square meals. The economy is bad. It's in shambles. If people are working, they get money, then they say that, look, I live in the country, I'm not traveling anywhere. But the way these people has managed the economy, it's affecting everything of the country. So we beg the ACUP, you should help NDC to push these people out. Then when
I've heard you.
Please, when the system gets stabilized, we bring everybody on board. CPP, we know, listen, NDC and CPP, I don't know, the difference is not too big. That's for the UP guys, let's leave them out. NPP, they come and they destroy things, you know it. So we beg you, what Ghana need now is, we need to reset the country. We need to take NPP out as a political party. Then we see where they've gone wrong. Then we're gonna make sure we review things, we reverse things, because where Ghana is going, it's not good for everybody. Okay, Jerome, even we in the diaspora now, look, we are not sending things back home because we are afraid. If the things go to the port, they seize it. Yeah. People have stopped sending things home because of the bad policies that NPP as a political party has put in place. So we need to tell them that, look, enough of the destruction. So we want to plead that with the issue of the document you talk about, John Dramani Mahama said when he come back, he's going to look at the issue of corruption within the system. He's going to fight it. He says,
I hope so.
No.
I hope so.
No, you see, he will bring back Domlevo to assist us. Domlevo, that man is a fine auditor. We are going to bring him back. If you don't give him an auditor, he's going to help the system. Okay? People like yourself and the Reverend and others who have the skills, let's come and help and reform the system. And what they have done, listen, what they have done now they want to use the Electoral Commission and the security to win election by all means. And this time around, it's not going to happen. The British man say it's not going to happen this time around. We're going to make sure at the police station, what will happen that we need our result at the police station. Whatever they do, 2024, bro, we mean business. So what we are going to say is that with the country as it says now, Ghanaians, we beg you. You try MPP, you tried NDC, you know the difference. You've seen the difference. It is time the nation go for change. It is time we move Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia out. Any amount of money they bring to you guys, take it.
We don't take money. We don't take money.
When they bring the money, they bring the food, take it. So when you go to the ballot box, let's remove them. 8 years is enough. So what Mama did only 3.5 years. Look at what he put in place in terms of infrastructure, regional hospitals. Go to Kumasi. The amount of infrastructure he put there. So we want to plead to Ghanaians. Ghanaians who are listening to us. But your extra one. You know the difference. Let's vote for change. Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, when they go and sit back and they see the mistake they've done, you come and tell Ghanaians that we are sorry. So, comrades, Jerome, with the issue of the corruption, I think I'm with the ACAP guy. Whatever it is, we all need to fight corruption because these guys, what they've done to the country, the PDS, all the money they've wasted, Massa, it's huge. So it's time that we tell them that they've done enough of destruction to the state called Ghana. Ghanaians need to get some fresh oxygen. We need fresh oxygen.
Sure.
It's time we change. So Eka, please come and tie your cloth to death to change these people. When we finish, we will help you to bring your parliamentary people together.
Wonderful. Okay, let me come to Reverend Latin. Reverend, going into election 2024, from where you sit, what factors are going to be at play for which political party's favor?
Okay. I don't know if you give me, I have 1 or 2 things to address.
Oh, yes, please. You can.
I can, okay.
Yeah.
Before I come to your question, I have something, you see, I've realized that it is only when NDC is in power, people talk, especially the religious body.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that thing must stop. Sometimes people criticize ministers, like my type, going into politics, but it is wrong. Because if we allow politicians alone to govern the country, they will make laws that will bring the country down. And when there's calamity, we all face it. If I'm going to buy something, they won't say, oh, you are reverend, so buy it at 2 cities, whereby it's been sold by 10 cities. So we are all in it. So it is time of whoever you are, ministers, we are all Ghanaians. We are facing one destiny. So you see, we have one destiny. We are facing the same problem. So I will urge my fellow ministers to begin to talk. Let's share our mind. Let's talk our minds. I believe if with some of us with a higher integrity, can get involved in politics, things will change. So I will urge everybody, whether NDC is in power, MPP is in power, we have to talk. Some time ago, I find there are some ministers, we all know they talk. I don't want to mention names because it's to be like I'm blackmailing my own people. But we all know that those people have went quiet on this regime. And that's why they think the country belongs to them. They're doing whatever they want to do. They wish doing. So I will urge my fellow ministers to get into politics. Yeah, because politics is not something. It's not a career. Politics is an opportunity to serve. We are service, serve the people. So I mean, we go into politics. It's the same thing. We serve the people. We serve the country. You see, and so I will urge our people. Second thing I want to say is that I want to urge Mr. President, the incoming president. I know Mahama is going to win. Yeah, I will ask him to take industrialization very seriously. I know now that's why, if I recall, in 2020, in his first regime, under his tenure, he established many electricity something. Without electricity, industrialization cannot be possible. And I will urge him to take that thing seriously. because we import everything. But if we export many things or other things, or even we produce things that we need in Ghana, our city system, our city problem will be, will come down.
Stabilize.
Yes. Yeah. And the money will be in the system. If there's money in the system, everybody will be happy. And it will work very I mean, it will be better for all of us. Thirdly, I want to ask Mr. President Mahama to make sure they become, I mean, they will be business friendly, because some of us are tired living abroad. We want to come home and establish companies, little companies, to to help our people to create more jobs. But sometimes taxes and whatever and protocols, you want to certificate, and you have to pay bribes and whatever. So I'm asking personally, I'm asking Mr. President to look at those things and make sure they create business friendly atmosphere, so that those of us abroad want to come home and establish some companies, we can be able to do so to help the government. Now I will come to your this thing. I think Ghana election right now is based on the economy, because according to statistics, about millions of people, or 41% of Ghanaians, have been into extreme poverty. And it's very, 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 very bad for us as a country. See, when the people are poor, they can do anything. Crime rises up. And so I mean, it is time people vote for the better people, the better party who can take care of take care of the better economy. I mean, build a better economy. And I believe MDC are the better economic managers. So I will plead to Ghanaians, vote wisely, vote for NDC, vote for Mahama, and I think things will change. Yeah, that is what I can say. And people say free exchanges. Free exchanges cannot be a reason we have to, because free exchanges itself, it's a vision of the NDC. NDC wrote the Constitution in 1992, and they enshrined that policy in the Constitution. So free exchanges is never a policy of MPP. They just borrow it. And if you see how, if we go back, you can see Mahama is the one who introduced the free exchange progressively. Akufo-Addo too came, he continued progressively, because he started with 1 year, the first year people, the second year, and the third. He didn't cover all the 3 years from the start. So he too continued progressively. So why in MPP is taking credit of its free exchanges? I don't understand. And then they are they are misinforming the public. And NDC we cancel the free exchanges, and Epstein-Port has been this guy. I think we have to take civil education very seriously as a nation. I will urge the NDC to take on this. I quite remember the time I'm not that old, but I remember in our time, sometimes they bring a cine car to our villages to show us, when there's something going on. They show us something on the screen or on the car, so to educate the public. This thing has to go on, because people don't know what to do and what not to do. But if the civil education goes on very well, I believe they will know. And sometimes the last thing I will add to it is that government, I quite remember these people, Peace the Country people raise up some issues. The government forms a group there, Peace Yourself. This thing it doesn't make sense to me, because if, like in Israel, there are vantage points that the municipality have pulled this thing, garbage collection boxes there. So if you take your garbage, you put it in that place, and they will come and take it away. So if that thing is not in place, the person sweep his house, he cannot put it in his house. He have to throw it. So and the nearest place for them to put is the gutter. And when they put the thing in the gutter and there's rain, then flat up. And I mean, it's all, it's like we are marking time. So I will urge the next government to make sure they put things in place. Government it's a duty of the government to make sure the country is clean. See, so we have to produce this thing, provide those boxes, litter boxes, at the place where they put, people cannot just eat and throw it on the floor like we do in Ghana. We need education on that. Then we make sure we police those things. If somebody, every country, every citizen have to be a police. If your fellow citizen throws it on the floor, no, take it, put it in at the right place. I think we all be patriotic, and we all make sure our brothers and our brethren, our brothers and sisters do the right thing. Ghana will be a safer place to live.
Wonderful. King Mayengo, I think I'll book an appointment with you and we'll talk about ACAF's educational structure and what have you. But
I'll be so glad. I'll be so glad to share with you.
Yeah, Mr. 10 seconds before. You see, let me just a quick one.
Okay.
I want to challenge you that get one of the parliamentarians to come on to this your show, and let's discuss the issue of free SHS and its policy document. Please, it's very important. Get one of the parliamentarians on this show, and some of us
we'll work on that. But then already out there, the MPP says they have recalled, they've asked the speaker to recall Parliament so that they can consider a blueprint on free senior high school, and NDC, you are sabotaging their work. But we'll look at it afterwards and then we'll see. But let me come to King Mayengo. One thing that is troubling going into election 2024 seems to stem from the fact that the EC is sort of trying to censor the media houses that can have access to their collation centers. Mm-hmm. That issue was rejected, and there's a heated debate about it. Notwithstanding that, CDD, that we all know is one of the the CSO in Ghana that has special focus on elections, has probably been single-handedly eliminated from this election observation and all that. Mm-hmm. Is there something that the EC seems to be hiding from the public that is making them take all these steps? And should that not be a concern for Ghanaians?
Okay. Thank you once again, my brother. But I think we have mentioned a lot of things during these discussions. The Electoral Commissioner is appointed by the President. You see, so he might be doing things well, but in the eyes of many, he's on the government side. Yeah. He might be facing challenges, trying her best, but her best is coming out as worse in our eyes. All stems from the fact that she was appointed by the presidency, and the presidency have gone ahead to say that he will make sure and do everything possible that his party wins. Mm-hmm. So now, when these things happen, it gives the people, maybe that's what the president meant when he said they would do everything. Because now you see, the AC is doing this, the AC is doing that, the AC is doing this. So already, the Constitution is one major thing that we, as a nation, we have to take a step back and say, Madam, it's not okay. So the EC, I mean, the last elections, we had 3 areas or 4 areas in the OT and Volta region, these border towns, that didn't vote at all.
The south area.
And it was one of my saddest days because I was expecting Ghanaians to say, look, go and run the election in this area before you declare. It doesn't matter who wins, but don't disenfranchise them. Let them vote. The people there didn't ask the government to split them up into OT region and Volta region or whatever. The government did that. And then the EC, fails to go there to run elections. You see, and it has gone all the way, and now we are in the same process, struggling with data collection, National Identification Authority, and election. This conflict. But Jerome, anyone who is turning 18 this month, doesn't even have the voter's ID card.
ID card.
But if we use the national ID card, per your date on it, we know that you are 18. We have disenfranchised so many people. Why? Because the registration is opened a certain period and closed. So when you close it and the following week I turn 18, I cannot vote.
Yeah. And
that itself is a problem. During the registration, the exhibition of the register and the new registration in Winneba, there were videos circulating, and people will come with a van with people and teenagers. These are kids.
Yeah.
But they got them registered. NDC also came, did the same thing. These are underage. But both of them are doing the same thing. And then they said, okay, you wait. On election day, we will not allow them to vote. So on election day, you will be there waiting for those faces to come. And then you will challenge them. That is where things get out of hand. And then it's too late. So the EC itself is, in my view, is not a good referee because of the way it is even appointed. Because then he's aligned more to the boss, the one who appointed it, than the people. Even though all the people have their power in one person, he respects one person more than the general population. So that itself is one of the main problems. If the EC is truly an independent body, they will try all their best under difficult circumstances to make sure we have good register and a successful election that people will not have issues with. But the appointment of the EC itself is something that has to be reconsidered or even abolished at all. The president shouldn't go near the EC issues at all. So that would be my view on it.
Okay, Chairman Akwa, should I say the NDC always shout on the roofs and go back to sleep? Or what? We wouldn't mind whether I'll be thinking right if I go that way. Why do I say so? When appointments were made to the EC, the constitution is clear that people who are not politically exposed should be appointed to the EC. There were two people, especially one who had been a TAIN coordinator, and there were videos of him on public platforms defending the MPP, speaking for them, and he got appointed. The NDC went to the streets and made a lot of noise, but all of a sudden, NDC has gone dead, and the guy is working as a commissioner at the EC in charge of their IT and all that. Does this appointment really serve as a source of concern to NDC going to election 2024?
That's good. I said you always ask me difficult questions, but I will answer you. You know what, Jerome? No.
Yeah.
The situation we find ourselves in the country now, the system must be overhauled. Now, NDC, we fought. Most of the time, when we fight this EC and the government, we have to end up in the courts. Just imagine what is at the courts, my brother. You know, Jerome, me and you, we know who are the courts there, who appointed all those people there. So sometimes it becomes a bit of a fight for us. So we have to take our issue to the public domain. And it is all about the rule of law. If you go to the EC now, the EC will tell you that this is not part of their legislative instrument, so they can't apply. What can you do? The only thing you can do is to go to court. Jerome, SAL, how many years is SAL now? We have a group of people who have been disenfranchised by this system. You see, the government, the district, they've created a community and you disenfranchise people just to allow one person to go to parliament. You are not able to succeed because the system, the judicial system as you have in place now, we need to do something about it, so that when people go to court, Jerome, you have a fair hearing. If you go to court and always it's only one-sided, Jerome, you give up. So it is time that Ghanaians, we beg you. In the constitution that these people identified, they use it to their advantage. That's fine. But it is time we as Ghanaians, we take our country back and tell them that it is time to review the entire constitution. Jerome, one of my key areas that I will plead the incoming JDM to do is that the police services, we need to look at that place. Because in every country, if you have a very effective police in place, an independent police in place, Jerome, business thrives. People can do their business without being hand down. Our 24-hour economy we are bringing is the confidence that people need. So we need a very effective police system. And again, we have to Jerome, I know we've made a mistake. You have to, but Jerome, you see, when you are playing a football match and you get to your defense are not strong enough, like Arsenal, you have to review them and make sure you have a solid defense like what the Arsenal have now. So, Jerome, I think, you see, let me tell you something. I mean, NDC as a political group, since we came to opposition for 8 years, we've learned a lot.
You have to wind up.
I'm winding up. We've learned a lot. We learned a lot with this constitution. So we need to look at the entire system, as has to do with the constitution, the judges, the judiciary, everything. We need to work on it. So Ghanaians, we want to plead with you. Saturday coming, we are going to vote. Let's make sure we vote for NDC to remove these people from power. They've done enough. We need a change. No amount of money should allow them to stay in power. The money they are using is our own money. So when they bring it
to do the same.
Yeah, no. You see, the money they are using, they are sharing. Listen, they are sharing half piece of cloth, and they are sharing. You don't need them.
Send a good message.
Let them go home. So Ghanaians, we beg them. Ghanaians, we beg
fellow Ghanaians,
fellow Ghanaians. 8 years is enough. Don't allow NPP to come and deceive you again. It is time that even the churches now say, look, they've had enough of NPP. They should go. Nana Akufo-Addo himself went to church and he was saying that, look, they should vote for his ex guy. That is John Dramani Mahama. When Napo went and stood on podium, they said they should vote for Mahama. NPP themselves are preaching for Mahama. So we beg Ghanaians that, Ghanaians, it is time that I want to use this platform to plead to you. If you haven't decided, please decide. Go and vote for NDC so that after 8th of December, we get the change we need.
Very grateful, Chairman Akwa. Reverend Latte, our time is almost up, but what words do you have for Ghanaians going into election 2024?
I think I've said it already, and I'm going to say it again, and I want my brother Kukutu to say the word to Ghanaians to vote wisely for John Mahama. Because these people, we know their performance so far. They've destroyed everything in Ghana. They've destroyed the economy. They've destroyed the financial sector. They destroyed the education system. They've destroyed the environment. They destroyed everything in Ghana. Absolutely everything. So giving them another chance, then that means we want them to set fire on the country. And we have only one Ghana to protect. And the only candidate and the only party that can save Ghana right now is the NDC and Mahama. So I urge all Ghanaians to, when they go into the pool this Saturday, they should vote massively for John Mahama as the president and the NDC as the party to take us to our promised land. Because Mahama was laying a very good foundation for us, but these people came with lies and they look at the street. So we are pleading to Ghanaians to vote for the better candidates.
Okay, what do you have to tell your people?
My brother to say the same.
Kweku change, I beg you.
To Reverend Aqua and Reverend Latte, and to you, Jerome. First of all, it's been a pleasure being amongst you to discuss Ghana's election. I'm really proud of what you are doing, and also to say to Ghanaians that we have just one Ghana, and there are so many eyes on us, and our destination is in our hands. We need to restore dignity and pride of our people. I'll tell you a sad story, just a quick one. I chanced on an elderly woman in Medina. We're working for Zoom Lion. Early morning, this man was gathering, working. She was on duty. Swept and putting her hands to gather the rubbish. I wept that morning. How can we treat our people like this? This is a mother, grandmother, an auntie. If you have given her a job, take good care of her. Equipment, the tools that she needs to work with. Last 3 months, we saw the Zoom Lion people going on demonstration. Why? They have not been paid for 6 months, 250 a month. We didn't even hear the NDC say anything about it. This was a good avenue to reassure these people. They were quiet. Where is the welfare of the people? So, to Ghanaians, as you go out to vote, look at your welfare, your well-being. Not a bag of rice, not a fried rice that can even go bad in 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, your very welfare in the next 4, 8, 12, 50 years. People's pension have gone under this government. You are going to vote again. Look at all these things and vote wisely, peacefully, and go home and wait for the results. But I'm sure it's going to be a very beautiful change.
Thank you.
It's going to be a very beautiful change. I believe so.
Thank you.
I believe so.
That is wonderful. And we're very grateful wherever you are. If you have joined us, this is Ghana Decides coming to you live.
I'll get your phone numbers from Jerome and get in touch with you.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Because I would like to invite you to look at ACAP also. Take a look at ACAP.
It's not a problem. I'm ever ready all the time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Jerome for inviting me to this program. And I want to thank all the viewers also, and those who comment, who pass the comments. I love everyone. And my greeting from Israel to everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I also register our appreciation to all of you for your time and your wonderful contribution to this program, Ghana Decides. We are praying and hoping that after Saturday, we would have the opportunity to review the elections and then the way forward. Thank you very much. And wherever you are, this has been Ghana Decide. We came to you live on today's Ghana News TV. Until we come your way next week, take good care of yourself and Yehovah be with us all. Good night.
Omumubi Edintro. I say, your mama turned to my pot, ain't and your mama wide. Yen turned to my pot, yeah. Gapoha, a shareholder, I want to my pot to them. Menomoka say, Sika Gapoha, Anya, every new to my pot, no. ebro $200 million omo share omo chiama omo na munim bebia sai sikani bi aba Kapo had sikani bi more than $80 million at the aba Buankra ha yedi sesi Buankra anka me ton tema port anka Kapo ha nyesika enti sa ni o mane de eye ade a minim se de wo mo anase o mu ko university atro university enum ko sua